The slogan was simple and became almost an icon of the campaigns and presidency of Dwight D. Eisenhower. I like Ike. This display is part of the Every 4 Years exhibit at the Newseum, the Museum of News in Washington, D.C., which was featured in an earlier edition of Sentimental Reflections. And these I Like Ike signs are on display at the Eisenhower Presidential Library Museum and Boyhood Home in Abilene, Kansas. It's a place where Ike is celebrated for both his accomplishments as a general and as president.
I like Ike because he is a great leader. If you look at his history, he learned early on how to get along with people who disagree with him, or people that he might not necessarily like. He was also a very thoughtful individual.
The 1952 race between Eisenhower and Adlai Stevenson made history in many ways.
You're gonna do for the rest of the 48. 1952 is a great moment to pick because that crystallizes the moment of television arriving on the scene and the incredible impact that had then and continues to have today on political campaigns and the way they're covered.
The national conventions of both parties, each in Chicago, were televised live from coast to coast for the first time. After the GOP convention, history was made by Ike's running mate, then Senator Richard Nixon. He was being criticized because supporters had created a special political fund for him.
There was a newspaper article that came out accusing Richard Nixon of benefiting from a secret rich men's trust fund that allowed him to live beyond his means.
Knowing that Eisenhower was considering replacing him on the Republican national ticket, he went directly to the people in a nationally televised address that became known as his famous Checkers speech.
Nixon went on television and he said to people, "I've never accepted any inappropriate gifts from anyone. My wife, Pat, wears a good Republican cloth coat, not a mink coat." These are all things that really capture people's imagination, especially the middle class. And then he says, "The only gift I've ever gotten is a Cocker Spaniel, and my daughter named him Checkers, and I don't care what you say, but we're keeping him." And every parent said, "Yeah, yeah." It resurrected Nixon's place on Eisenhower's ticket. When he came down from that speech, he met with Eisenhower, and Eisenhower said, "You're still my man."
His status as a war hero helped Eisenhower to win the presidency in a landslide. Even before his inauguration, he went to Korea, a first step in keeping his campaign pledge to end the war. What ensued in the 2 terms of the Eisenhower administration is what historians have called an era of peace and prosperity. Carl Weisenbach, director of the Library and Museum in Abilene, maintains that Eisenhower's military experience was critical in helping him preside over this period of peace.
Peace and prosperity, right? I think it could have only happened because of someone like Eisenhower who understood what peace meant, and he also understood what it would take to maintain the prosperity that he wanted for the American people.
The exhibits at both the library and museum encompass Ike's war accomplishments and his presidency. The statue in Abilene is of General Eisenhower, the military commander, though certain Americans will long remember him from times of war and peace. Join us on our video journeys each season as Sentimental Reflections presents America's heritage in story, scenery, and song. For more information about the video magazine or to become a subscriber, call 1-800-762-0338 or visit us online at sentimental.cc.